Hello and welcome to Take You to School with Dr. Tom Prichard. I am your host, JP, John Paz from Two Man Power Trip. Of course, joining me, the star of the show, the former 8-time Smoking Mountain Wrestling Tag Team Champion and former WWE World Tag Team Champion, one of the greatest trainers ever in the history of the business, the Doctor of Desire himself, Dr. Tom Prichard. Dr. Tom, how you doing today, sir?
John, I'm doing great today. Thank you.
Man, we really got nothing to talk about. There's nothing going on.
Not a thing going on tonight, so I'm really
Yeah,
happy. What can we talk about? What you're knitting? How's your garden looking these days? How are your
yeah,
strawberries? I got a
yes.
story about that too here in a minute. But yeah, so what do you want to start with?
I guess
Hello,
we
underdog. Oh, my
yes.
favorite. Yes, go ahead.
Yes. I guess we have to start, and I know we want to talk about Jeff Hardy. We'll get to him in a minute, but
Hmm.
we have to start with the Vince McMahon allegations. $3 billion in hush money, supposedly, allegedly, comes out from the Wall Street Journal that he's supposed to be paid off this woman that he was having an affair with, and Johnny Ace may be involved. They may be digging up old cases. There may be NDAs involved. The board is looking into it. Vince is being investigated. Did you hear about this? What do you think about this?
No, what happened? Uh, no, I just heard about it like you did early this afternoon. And what do you say? I don't know what to say. People can make accusations about anything all the time, and they do. And people say, well, as we've seen on just every day, the climate is always pointing to somebody doing something. And so I don't really know what to comment on it. How do you comment on it without coming off like a jack off or just like you know anything at all? Because I don't know anything at all. But if we just had the Amber Heard Johnny Depp case.
Yep.
So that was what 6 weeks. Well, I didn't watch any of it, but no, I take that back. I watched like the snippets when they would come on like the internet news and stuff. But that's what it's turned into, and no matter what happens, it's going to be more sensational than sometimes it really is, and sometimes it's more sensational than it appears to be. So I don't know.
Just crazy to see that pop up because it does seem like Nick Khan is trying to take over as Matty R put, cleaning the way for a Nick Khan full takeover. It seems like it because remember January we were talking about Shane was gone,
Hmm.
then Triple H was gone, then Stephanie was gone, and now Vince is in trouble in his own company with his own board. Seems kind of crazy.
Well, so what is your explanation for it? What is your assumption? Because I mean, I think in in anything, in any business, especially entertainment business, I don't know. In this day and age, with everything being sensationalized, everything. Um, I think everybody has enough opinions on it. I don't really. I don't have an. I don't know what to say. I don't know. I don't even know how to opinionate on it. Like I don't. It just everything you read lately. It seems like it's not coincidental that Punk's hurt. Who else is hurt from AEW? Somebody else too.
Danielson got hurt.
Okay, and then you got Cody Rhodes, the
Yep.
face of WWE, getting hurt. You got Matt Cardona getting hurt, having to give up the NWA title, and then you have everybody trying. I, I don't know what everybody's trying to do anymore. I really don't. But uh, it nothing surprises me. Let me say that. That's all I got to say. Triple H is working as executive, and Stephanie's gone TV, and yeah, it's
Shane's gone.
true.
Yep. They're all gone.
Vince is a disaster right now with his affair allegation. Oh well.
Yeah, plus the Oliver Luck stuff, which they were supposed to go into some sort of mediation with the XFL, and he's owed money. Supposedly, it lasted less than 10 minutes, and there was no talk, and everybody left unhappy. So,
Wait,
the,
wait, wait, wait. What happened now?
so Oliver Luck
Oliver Luck, the
is
coach,
suing them. No,
right?
he was in charge of the XFL, so he's
Oh,
suing
okay,
them because he's saying that they didn't pay him the money was owed.
right.
they were saying he was a failure. They had to stop the league and blah, blah, blah. So he said, well, I still want the money that's owed to me. I had a contract, and they had some litigation in a meeting. It was over in less than 10 minutes, and there was no decision. They just walked out. So
Oh.
luck still is out of luck right now.
Well, I don't know. I mean, I don't know. Anything is possible in this world of espionage and spies and all that crap. Yeah, I mean, look at how crazy things are right now. So gosh, why wouldn't we need something crazy right now in wrestling? I guess. Cancel mediation. What?
Because the judge said there was no settlement was going to happen. Okay, yeah, I heard it lasted less than 10 minutes. So like, that nothing came out of it. If anything goes that quickly, that there was going to be no
Right.
outcome.
Right. So, I don't know what else to say.
It just seems to me, and I know it's the obvious thing, and everybody on the Twitterverse and everybody in the world is saying like Nick Khan has to be involved because all the McMahons are falling down, and the meme of him going after one after the other with the sickle, and
well, I really I don't I haven't paid attention to who or what Nick Khan is or does that close attention. I've only, honest to goodness, sometimes I will just skim the headlines because I just don't care, and that's just how I feel right now. And what I mean by I don't care, it's like I think they're grabbing at straws sometimes when they do the headlines and you read the story it had nothing to do with the headline, and that just kind of is like, I don't know enough about Nick Khan, so but in the world again of espionage and spies and all that stuff, hell, who knows? Who knows? But that's conspiracy theorist stuff. Whatever you say, theories. That's
Yep.
conspiracy theory. And I don't know that. I don't know because I haven't seen, but obviously other people have, or believe they have, or again, Amber Heard made accusations too, and vice versa.
Yep.
And so it's the world of celebrity, it's the world of show business, and for some reason it makes perfect sense that it would just find its way here. I don't know. I mean, if you're asking me, do I think one way or the other? I sure do, but I don't think it would be appropriate for anybody to say that they saw anything for sure, and anything else is just hearsay. And quite honestly, I tell you, it's shit like this that always rub me wrong, because no matter how you look at it, nobody's innocent here, no matter what.
Yep.
And you can make accusations all day long, but at the end of the day, everybody's involved, even the guy or even whoever makes the accusation and puts it out there publicly, because you don't really. It's an accusation right now. It hasn't been proven yet. Until it's proven, I don't know what else to say. Yeah, I don't know what's going on up there. I don't know what's going on with Vince and Linda. I don't, but I know
I've heard they haven't really been together in a long time. They've been separated, but I never heard any official. I never saw any dirt sheets covering it. But I've only heard that through the grapevine.
But why would anybody hear unless they wanted you to know? Right. So, it's one of those things that people seem to like to talk about a lot, and for some reason, it always felt weird when I was talking about stuff like this. When I hear Amber Heard and Johnny Depp talking shit, I went through shit like that. I did in the first marriage, and I get that, and I'm listening to people talk, but why would you want to put it on public display? Why? Because if it was that toxic, do you really want people to know all the sort of details? Well, they did. I never got into that. I don't believe it. So I get these I get these pushback feelings that I don't. This is the sort of details of corporate America. It's not professional wrestling. It's just corporate America. And in the wrestling business and circuses and back in the day, long gone and never going to come back, you had to love the wrestling business, and it got to be really corporate and really big these days. And I guess when you get too big, you are way too big and feel like you can do whatever you want, you know. So I don't know. Other than that,
Jimmy says, Dr. Tom, you're stumbling right now more than our president.
feel like it too. I do feel like I'm still more than president. I really do, and I can understand how he feels too.
I was thinking that was our best comment, but this one from Matt R is great. Looking like Jerry McDivitt gets one more big case before retirement.
See, I get all that. I really do, but it's going to affect not just Vince. It's going to affect a lot of people, and it's I don't know, man. It's the evil's out there no matter where you look, and the world's not a rosy place, quite
Imagine if
honestly.
you're McDivitt, though. You're like, all right, I'm just going to retire peacefully and go off into the sunset. Oh no, we need you for one more case.
Yeah, I could see that.
And this is going to be a doozy, Jerry.
Well, well, yeah. Look, I had a conversation tonight with somebody who we were talking about. They were disappointed in someone that they met, and I had to explain to them they don't know you, so why should they even talk to you? Why should they acknowledge you? What's the deal? And he explained, to which I explained back, it doesn't make a difference. There's no rules that say you have to do it this way or that way. And that's how misperceptions get started too. About this guy was an asshole. He was being a prick. No, it was a pay-per-view. He didn't have time. He doesn't know you. And that's how misperceptions happen.
True. I don't know if you have much more to talk about Vince, or would you like to talk a little bit more about Jeff Hardy? Jeff Harvey, if you will.
Jeff Harvey. You know what, man? Jeff and I saw the dash cam 2 today.
Yep.
I don't know how to defend that or even talk about that either, because it's just plain and simple swerving and being either drunk or high, whatever. He knows he shouldn't, and maybe he didn't. But he's got to get out. He's got to get help. It's the third time in 10 years, and I don't know what else to say about that either. He's got to get some help. He's got to do something, because after the first one, you would think. Then the second one, you would know. By the third one, you got to find out. And what I mean by that is you know you're going to go to jail next time, and then you got to find out you're going to jail. And I don't know if that's the right thing to do or not. I don't. But we saw what happened with Sonny.
Yep.
And it could happen with Jeff. So I don't want to see that happen. I don't think anybody wants to see that happen. So yeah, I agree. Jeff needs help. Jeff needs to go away somewhere where he can stay there, get up, do a routine. Yeah, it'll suck. It'll suck worse in prison. So it's got to be one or the other. It's death, or it's prison, rehab, prison, or in death. Are pretty much the three options. And I don't think Jeff wants to go to prison. I don't think he wants to die. So there are times when I don't believe that rationale hits everybody, and don't even think about it until it's way too late. So I hope it's not too late for Jeff.
I'm just like, and Mike says it here: get an Uber driver or a Lyft, personal driver. I'm just surprised, like these rich guys, because obviously he's rich. Like, How come they don't have their own like personal driver or call?
Well, how rich really do you think Jeff is, and who would he have as a personal driver? I mean, yes, of course, I do understand that,
Yeah, I mean,
but maybe it was a gig in between gigs, and he was going to drive home. Maybe he wanted to be alone that night. Maybe just the circumstances, and why doesn't he have a valet and a chauffeur and a limousine too? I agree with that, but he should have had somebody. That would have been a great idea, but he didn't, and that's the problem. And there might have not been a next time, or they might not have been, but so he's got another chance to. That's the thing. How many chances, how many times does it take before somebody has to tell you? And it's going to have to be somebody has to tell him, Jeff, that we love you and we don't want you to get hurt. And we don't want you to hurt anybody else. This is for you. You can hate us all you want right now, but this is for you. And he has to listen to that. But
do you think he needs to retire from wrestling? Here's a question from Raven.
I don't know. I don't know about that. If it's his passion, if he still loves it, no. He's 44, I think. If he still, what else would he do? Because Idol, what is it? What's the Devil's Playground? Being idle, not doing anything, sitting still, whatever it is, and just having too much time not to think when all you have to do is think. So I don't know if that's a solution or not, but the solution certainly is knowing there's something better than. And it takes a while to figure that out, I think.
Man, just crazy that popped up because he left WWE and WWE was saying that they were going to get him help. And then all of a sudden he went to AEW and they were like, nope, he doesn't need any help.
You don't always believe you need help.
Right.
Nobody who needs help is going to say, I need help, unless, I don't know, I guess some people might, but I don't think Jeff would say, hey, because I'm doing fine. I don't need any help. But you're not looking at you from the outside. He's not looking at anything but what he sees. So that can be a problem. This obviously is a problem. And I don't believe he wants to hurt himself. I don't believe he wants to hurt anybody else. And I hope Jeff doesn't end up like Sonny either. So he has a chance right now. It's up to him. Nobody can really make you do it. And, well, yeah, they can make you do it, but nobody can make you want to do it. Nobody can make you want to go. If you don't want to go, there's nothing that you can do. But if someone actually speaks to you and talks to you, I've tried it. I tried it with a very good friend of mine. Bruce and I tried to have an intervention, and he said all the right things to us, but he had been lying his whole life. And even though his daughter was with him, his girlfriend was with him, and he promised us all, he didn't keep one promise. So it's up to you if you want to do it. You can say all the right things, but you got to actually go through the process, and that's something. Until Jeff decides he's ready, it's not going to happen. So that if he does it for his family, that can be the goal. That can be the destination you're looking for. But you gotta follow through.
A buddy of mine that was pretty close with Jeff, and actually, he obviously still knows him pretty well now. He was saying like, "Oh, Jeff is hiding it. Jeff's definitely lying. Jeff needs to get help. He needs to go to rehab." Said he was lying to his own brother about it, which he apparently was. So, I mean, not that he's a liar. It's just that the addiction has gotten him. He's just gotten good at hiding it. Seems like.
But that's what you do,
right?
And that's why you have to understand. It's not going to, I don't think it's going to leave anybody. It's a lifetime thing. And you have to do it for, if not yourself, something or someone that you care more about than you. Is it your family? Is it your wife? Is it your kids? If it's not, then there's no help. That there's nothing they can do to help you. So hopefully, his family can appeal to his empathy for them if something happened to him. It will crush him, and you don't understand how bad it hurts somebody else until you witness it, and or you feel it. And God Almighty, nobody wants to feel that. So I mean, these are things that have to either be said, and you have to feel that when you're hearing it, or it's not going to matter. In my opinion. So
Matt R. with another, maybe controversial comment, we'll say. Hardy drives like Russo, all those swerves.
keep your day job, Matt.
Mike says Russo would need an Alabama slam.
Yeah, yes, he does. Yes.
Let's see here. Anthony, it's not up to Jeff. It's a sickness. We need to stand by him.
Well, yeah, you do need to stand by him. Certainly, you do. You need to stand by him and tell him, Jeff, we want us to keep standing together. So you need to get help because if not, you're going to be 6 feet under, and I'll be standing over you. And you don't want to be that dramatic, but you got to be that dramatic so he gets the point. And if he doesn't get the point, then it is the sickness talking to him. And yeah, so. I mean, that's another one. I don't know what to say. We can sit here and talk about how it happened, why it keeps happening. But the point is, we're not walking in his shoes. We know what it does when he does walk in his shoes and the effect it has on people who care about him. Does he care about that? Maybe he doesn't know that. I don't know. But I don't know. I don't want to start speculating because then I'm going to say something really stupid.
Do you or did you speak with Jeff when they first came in the WWF in the month of '94? Did you know Jeff all the way back when he was doing job matches and enhancement matches when he was a young pup in the business?
Yeah, sure did. And they were. I've never known them to change. They're always good guys. Loved the business, and were talented. And they were the two kids that would come in and knew how to take bumps, and everybody wanted to work with them. And they were making their gear back then too, sewing their trunks and doing all that stuff. Excuse me. So, they fell in love with the business and had a trampoline growing up, and they were doing stuff like that in the backyard, and that alone is a part of the wrestling sickness and getting addicted to the wrestling part of it. And then you get into it and you find out the bumps actually do hurt when you're doing it every day. And those guys are doing ladder matches, and that's no excuse. But I think that might have something to do with how it starts. When you do feel hurt and can barely make it to out of bed. So, and then you start justifying, I don't know, man. And you start doing a lot of things and tricking everybody, including yourself around you.
So with Jeff and just like a young Jeff, I know you obviously did some training with him in the dojo, the Funka Dojo. You know him very well. Well, not very well, but you know him pretty well, just even from back then, the Funka Dojo, WWA, when you guys used to make that travel up north.
Mm-hmm. But those guys were already trained. They were pretty talented when they got there. Those were the guys who had already practiced and done it on the trampoline and stuff. They were instinctively good. So, and yeah, but they were just nice, quiet kids, I think, back then. Then they grew into these horrible monsters, John.
Yeah, that's what it seems like. Yeah,
sure, of course.
I know we talked about this many months ago, but you actually had a match in WWA 8/21/1998. Scott Taylor and Dr. Tom defeated the Hardy Boys in Newburyport, Mass. Massachusetts.
That was from Mike Sparta.
Yep.
Yeah. So yeah. yeah, it's always been one of those relationships. Um, Kind of like, again, not like a Michael Hayes, but uh, it, they were just really they were a natural and they knew how to work. And then they got involved with the Dudleys and Edge and Christian. And if you think about it, they're living their dream, doing what they want, hanging out with stars, became stars, and had these memorable classic matches. And so I don't know if that has a whole lot to do with what Jeff's going through now, but it was part of the journey he took to get here now. And uh, maybe he should look at it and see what's more important to him, I guess.
On a lighter note, what would Dr. Tom's favorite Jeff Hardy match be?
Well, I don't know that I have a favorite Jeff Hardy match, but I do remember, I think, a match. It was Austin and Triple H against Jeff. Was it Jeff and Matt, where everybody started throwing garbage in the ring afterwards? That's something that stood out in my mind because I hadn't seen that in a long time. It was Austin and Hunter against, I believe, the Hardy Boys, and they got heat on them afterwards, and people were throwing trash in the ring like they used 2 years ago. So
Hardy's
that's
always
huh?
over. They were always over.
Yeah, they were. They really were.
Do you think too
So
much too soon for Jeff? A little bit.
I don't have a. I mean, I don't know. I didn't see it like that because he's still that humble guy that he started out as. He really is. And at least last time I saw him, he was. Maybe your friend knows him different now, but I don't think so. Jeff doesn't seem like that kind of guy. He seems like he's still the same. So I don't know. I just know. I just hope that he there's no Jeff. Just join the live stream. What is your favorite match, Jeff Hardy memories? Well, they're not. I mean, Edge, Christian, Dudley's versus the Hardys was a great match. Okay, that's my favorite match ever. That's my only Jeff Hardy.
But with them back then, they weren't like partiers or anything, were they? When you like back when you were training them and stuff, were they wild or no?
No, they weren't. They weren't wild. They were good kids. There were some good boys. Yes. Anyway, SummerSlam TLC. Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah, it was awesome, man. So they had some memorable stuff.
Yeah.
Well, yeah, wrestling's a mental sport. Daggum right. I got a cipher all the way through my match. Anyway.
Remember Jeff versus The Undertaker on Raw? That was a great match as well. Almost like a coming out party for Jeff.
Well, yeah. Yeah, I would say so because if Taker didn't want to work with him, he wouldn't have worked with him. So that was, I mean, Jeff has earned the respect of everybody on the roster and always had good matches.
Jeff is the most talented Hardy. I'll give him that.
Okay. I think he's very talented. I think they're both very talented. So I'm not going to see. That just sounds like I'm not trying to pick one over the other, and I'm really not. But it's like saying, okay, here we go.
We shouldn't judge or criticize Jeff. We need to stand by him and support him.
Well, we weren't. At least I don't think we were ever criticizing. But I will tell you this: I don't want Jeff to hurt himself or anybody else. So,
right.
That's it.
Daniel says Jeff has put his body through a lot of stress over the years. I fully understand why he has a drug and alcohol addiction. Him and his brother put in a lot of hard work to be where they are today.
Well, yeah, and that's how it starts. I truly believe that because you do get hurt, so you do. But then again, you start liking the way that feels, and so I agree 100%.
Do you think that Jeff should be fired from AEW? From Michael. Hey, what's up, Michael?
Michael. Michael Rubin. I think anybody else, like if it was Sonny, I would certainly say yeah. Um, and I would say yeah to Jeff if you got to be consistent, be consistent. I do. If you not, don't treat your players equally, treat them fairly. And if you do one, you got to do the other as well. So at the same time, if Jeff agrees to get help, then help him and give him the chance to get help and get in recovery and do what he has to do.
Did you see Booker T kind of was blaming AEW a little bit and said that were like enabling him? They were partially to blame. I don't know if you saw that.
No, but how would they be enabling him?
I guess because he left WB and it was quite obvious that he needed help the way he left. Remember, he was literally at a house show during a match and just walked out during the match and just left through the crowd.
Yeah.
So they're saying like they should have, I guess, saw that and got him help. But if he doesn't want to get the help,
yeah, I mean, what are they supposed to do? I mean, Jeff says okay, and they have to take him on his word, and all of a sudden he's not okay. So I don't know what they're supposed to do, and so there. I don't blame AEW. I just believe that if it wasn't AEW, it'd be somebody else. So I don't see him as enabling him, though. I just don't.
Do you believe that the company does enough to prevent drug abuse from the performers, WB and AEW, really?
But once again, I'm not quite sure what you can do or what they can do without somebody saying infringing on my rights, because it certainly do it in this day and age. I think I think that'd be even more prevalent, because if you try to stop somebody from doing what they believe they're entitled to do, you can get a lot of backlash, I think. And I don't know what AEW or WWE can do anymore. I mean, marijuana has become a drug that has been looked at now as more of a PED or something to calm everybody down, or in sports and things like this, from the CBD and cannabis and all the shops opening up and things like that. So, but when you get into like pills or other drugs, I believe they do have. I don't know what the policy is, but they do have something about barbiturates or whatever the pills, right?
Yep.
Okay. Well, then I don't know what else they can do. People are going to be people.
Everybody's getting tired of the Jeff Hardy stuff. So let's just ask you some random questions here. Out of all the superstars you've worked with and trained, who out of all of them had the most talent overall?
Well, The Rock was a given, but I think Randy Orton he was one of those guys from the beginning too, who just he had been doing the indies around, playing with some indie guys around St. Louis, I think, and then he came at it. But you could tell he had a natural, he had that instinctive talent too.
It's funny that Vince himself was thinking more of the lines of like Brackus. Like looking back now, it's so laughable. It's like, what, The Rock is right here. You like the Brackus more?
Well, I think Rock was a given because he was coming back, and I didn't know this at the time, but he was coming back from Memphis. I think they had sent him down there to get a little seasoning, and then getting ready to debut at Survivor Series. They brought him back to Stanford, and that's when we did this deal. And then it was Brackus and Mark Henry, and Brackus did look great. He looked fantastic, and at that moment, it wasn't about putting a top wrist lock on, but he just didn't really grasp it. He never watched it as a kid. He wasn't a fan. And so he just, it was great.
Here's another good one. Congratulations to you and Mr. Jacobs on Kenzie Page winning the title and tag team gold in the NWA. How the heck did that come about? Because I didn't think you were going to be a part of the NWA.
Yeah, that was kind of wild. I came the week before they were in town, at the Smoky Stadium. Tom Latimer, Camille, and AJ Kazana had a signing at the Smokies Stadium, and Tom texted me, says, "Hey man, I'd love to see you. Come on down." So we went down, said hello, and he said, "Are you coming to the show Saturday?" And I said, "Man, I don't want to. I don't want to go into anybody's house and just kind of hang out. Don't want to go to a show and just hang out. I don't know anybody there, but I knew everybody there. So I wound up going. Uh, and it was a pretty cool time backstage. It was pretty cool. It was a long night. It was a long 2 days. I went Saturday and Sunday for TV. But it was a really good vibe. It was a really good locker room. A lot of the guys were from FCW and just I had known for a while. Talked to Austin Idol both days. He's having fun there. It's been in existence, I believe, 4 years, right? Billy Corgan bought it 4 years ago.
Yep.
Okay.
Just
So
about,
still, yeah, it's still a young company, and they had a good house Saturday night for the pay-per-view. But yeah, I wasn't planning to go at all, and I thought, no, man. Then Tom said, "Yeah, there's going to be a lot of people you'd love to see," and he was right. He really was. So it was cool to sit down and just bullshit with some of those guys. I haven't seen them in a long time. It was really cool.
I thought you were kayfabing me there. I was like, it's in Knoxville,
No.
NWA. I thought, maybe.
I didn't want to go because it's one of those things. I met Billy Corgan one time before, and that was it. And I don't really know him. Again, Tom was inviting me. So when I got there, said hello. It was good, and I started just talking to people. And some of our guys were on Ring Crew and got to come to the show as well. So, I decided like on a Friday, yeah, man, why not? Just go down and say hi. Then I came back Sunday, and it was just great. It was a good weekend. It really was. So,
in your opinion, was Tough Enough a flop?
No, I think he got some people looked at. He got some people acknowledged. Miz was on Tough Enough, wasn't he?
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
Okay. So you got, and Morrison was too. Josh
Matthews.
Yes. Yeah. You got some guys out of it. No, I thought it was a great show. Really
How
did.
come you weren't like a bigger part of it? Like, they kind of made Al Snow the face of the trainer, of the program.
Really? You don't know?
No.
Huh.
Tell us.
They didn't want me.
Why? Why not?
Why would they? The way it was explained to me is I'm going to be really training the guys, and they're going to do it on the TV show. Oh, makes perfect sense to me. Yeah. Why? They didn't want me on there. They wanted out.
So the show was a little fugazi, a little phony. You're the real trainer, and you're not the trainer on TV.
Makes perfect sense. You know what I mean?
But wouldn't you be like, hey, this guy trained The Rock and Kurt Angle? You know what I mean? Wouldn't that have sounded better on TV?
Yeah, I don't know. Does it sound better to you?
Yeah.
Right. So you and me are the only two.
Yeah.
Yeah. So, that's the best answer I got for you.
I ran into Dr. Tom at WrestleMania at Safeco Field in Seattle, WrestleMania 19. He was in the crowd looking at the ring. Was wondering, what was he looking at? Camera angles? Was he reading the crowd? Wow.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, I was looking at the camera angles and reading the crowd. Or I was reading to the crowd. No, I think I was just watching the match out in the arena because, you can watch it on the monitor, but I wanted to go out and see it in the arena. You know what I mean? So that's probably what I was doing.
I guess this was actually during the show. You like would
Had
be,
to be. Yeah. Why would I go out?
Would fans recognize you?
I don't know if they did or not, but I'm not listening to anything but watching. I'm watching the ring, and I can't really hear anything. So I don't think they did, John. Actually, that's why they didn't want me on Tough Enough either. If I
Oh,
would have been on Tough Enough, maybe they would have recognized me, but I don't
yeah,
think
good
that would.
point. Yeah,
Yeah.
good point.
Thank you. Thank you very
Good point.
much.
Do you think The Rock was held back by Hunter Hearst Helmsley at all? Because in Bret Hart's book, he said yes, he was.
Mm. Well, it really hurt The Rock's career too. You know, I think Brock did okay. So even if that's true, it didn't work. So is it true that The Rock was held back by Hunter? Well, obviously not, because he's one of the, if not the biggest stars on the planet, most recognizable celebrities. So I think he did okay. So
At
Hunter
that point
didn't
in
even.
time, though, like in Bret Hart's book, Michaels and Triple H were supposed to be trying to get him fired and holding him back, but
Of
didn't quite
course,
work. Yeah, it didn't quite work.
not at all. That's what I'm saying. Do you think it's true that The Rock was held back by Hunter? No, I don't think Hunter succeeded. I mean, there's a lot of jealousy and envy and oh my God, pettiness. Um, so I understand that, but that is a perfect example. The Rock is a perfect example of someone who wasn't going to let anybody ruin his success, and he was the hardest, and I believe that's true today. He's the hardest worker in the room. That's not just bullshit sayings. That's how it really works. So yeah, Brett, and I'm sure they were. I'm sure they were. I'm sure they were doing everything they could because they were jealous. And you notice, I don't believe Rock ever worked with Shawn Michaels, did he?
Nope, I was going to bring that up.
Exactly.
Supposedly on purpose. Rock did not want to work with him. Even when he
Well,
came back for all his returns, he did not
of
want to work with him.
course, it was like, nah, I ain't working with that guy.
Yep.
He tried to fuck me over. No, it's not happening. So there.
Interesting. Here's our weekly Hall of Fame talk. Should Hakeem, aka Akeem, or One Man Gang be in the Hall of Fame?
I
Or both?
look, I do. Yes, I do think so. He was Akeem and the One Man Gang, and I thought he pulled Akeem off great. You can argue with me all day long, but I got arguments back.
I'm
I
actually
thought it was
surprised he's
awesome.
not in already. He's one of those
Yeah,
guys
he
that's
should be. I
like
agree. He
20
should
years
be.
ago should have been in. Very strange.
Yeah, I don't know. I don't know.
Who, in your opinion, is the greatest superstar ever?
Well, up to now, you mean? Because I don't know ever. Um, Gosh, because you got Austin, you got Hulk, Rock. My God, man, John Cena. You got to look at all the stuff these guys did, not just in the ring, but I mean, as far as being getting their name out. Cena certainly has done it recently. Rock, Austin is on commercials. Uh, so he's still in the mainstream. Pardon me, pop culture, and that I think makes you a great superstar. But my gosh, I couldn't just pick one.
You're the most unrecognized behind the scene guy in the history of WWE. You deserve more credit for developing stars. WWE's not giving you enough credit. I totally agree.
I'm fine with that. Trust me, I'm okay. But I appreciate that. But I'm fine doing what I'm doing and getting what I'm getting. I swear to God, the best satisfaction for me these days, and this is God's truth, man. Well, now I'm lying because I'm telling this the truth, but I get more satisfaction out of people getting to do what they said, what people said they couldn't do, and going out and just manifesting what they want and making it happen. You see with Channing Lauren right now. He was the guy that I talk about him for just 1 second because he came to us as Jake the Mother Lover Tucker, and he was kind of doughy and Russian and wasn't very good when he started. He was okay, but he needed a lot of work, and he put in the work and he put in the time in the gym, and he taught himself how to sew his own outfit for him and his partner Cam. And they were a tag team, and they traveled 5 hours sometimes to go to Jackson or Clinton, Tennessee, or Dixon, Tennessee, in these sweat boxes and work for nothing. I mean, $25, $40 sometimes, And they would buy their own lighting and ask me, "Do you think Bert will let us use this at the show?" "I don't think he likes us." I said, "I'll guarantee you he will. You're enhancing his show. You guys are going to be different. It's going to help his show." So they went and asked him, of course, "Yeah, use your lights." Then they got smoke. And of course, they got heat with the other guys in the back because they didn't think of it. They didn't think to ask. And they were always coming with new gear and stuff like that. And then he keeps going and keeps plugging. And he goes to AEW as an extra. And then he goes, oh, hell. Oh, I don't think he went to OVW. But they went to some different places before they wound up finally getting signed. You know what I mean? That, dude, I don't care if you recognize me at all. But Channing Lauren knows what he went through to get there. He does. He knows it. And that's the coolest thing for me right now to watch is somebody who would come and train with me for a little bit, because I can just show you the moves. I can tell you how I would do it, and I can give you a suggestion. But it's really up to you to do it. And to me, that's the greatest satisfaction. I don't care if WWE never recognizes me again. I'm fine. I swear to God. As long as people come and get into it and learn it, and I really like it when they fulfill the dream, because you can always point to them and say it's possible. It's true, because a lot of people get down and say, "Oh, life is bullshit, and I'll never make it. I can't do it." No, I can point to you physically and tell them, say, "No, they were in the same boat you were in. You just got to paddle faster. You just got to get a bucket and get the water out of your boat and keep going." And that's what they did. So I had to explain that because,
Yeah.
because we're then Kenzie. Speaking about that, Kenzie and her partner Ella Envy, I didn't know they were going to win the belts, but it was like really cool because when they came back, she's crying and she's very emotional. So I get a picture with them. I thought this is great. There's another. She was from our first class. We got a picture of her, Natty Neidhart, Sasha, Bailey. When the first 2 weeks we were open, Natty, Sasha, and Bailey stopped by the school, and Kenzie was there, Dylan was there, Jamie was there, whoever else was there, our first class. And so there she is, and she got to do a little stuff in the ring with those ladies first. Now here she is. That was when she was 16, and now she's 20. And in Knoxville, Tennessee, she goes out and gets the NWA Women's Championship. So the tag team thing. So I could point to that and say, my God, she paid her dues. She's paid some dues. She's only 20. She's got a lifetime of dues to come. She's got a lifetime career to come. And so I think that's awesome.
Yeah, very cool.
Yeah.
Another Dr. Tom prodigy there. I love it.
Yeah, I do too. It's great.
From Junior. Hey, Dr. Tom, have you heard who Ric Flair will wrestle for his last match?
I have not. I have not heard, but I'm surprised they haven't found anybody yet. Or have
strange coincidence. That's a great question. I actually interviewed Ric Flair today, and I asked him. It'll be out on Friday on my feed. But I asked him. I said, "Who are you going to wrestle?" He said he's not telling.
Oh,
So, yeah, it's a surprise. So I said, "Do you have somebody lined up?" Apparently, somebody's lined up. We know it's not Steamboat, but he's got somebody lined up. For some reason, they're not telling. He said they already sold out the building. They don't need to. They don't need to announce like the match right now. They still have, I think 6 weeks or 7 weeks.
But yeah, because you want people to buy it. I mean,
yep.
So,
but there's already interest without even mentioning who he's wrestling. So,
well, Mike Tyson pulled out of the roast.
Yeah, I wonder why. That's weird. Yeah.
Well, I don't know. So I'm wondering. So I read that today too. But yeah, be interesting. Who's out there that Ric Flair can work or wrestle his last match with? Well, or let me say this: his last match in 2022 in what is it? August or July? July
31st. Yep.
Yes. So who do you think?
I don't know. I keep hearing that it's going to be some sort of tag team match or six man that the Rock and Roll Express are going to be on the other side against Flair and there was rumored to be Flair and FTR against Rock and Roll Express and Steamboat. Obviously, Steamboat pulled out. They had
Right.
to put somebody else in there. Hearing maybe that it was going to be Lawler, and then somebody threw Sting's name out. I doubt Sting will be involved, but somebody saying it might be like Lawler and the Rock and Roll. But I really don't know. I'm guessing it's going to be Flair and a partner, whoever the hell it could be, versus Rock and Roll Express.
Oh wow. Okay.
Because I know Ricky Morton is one of his favorite opponents of all time.
Yes, yes, but when you see a 6 man working better,
It probably
I
would be, yeah.
yeah, I think 6 man with FTR and Flair against Rock and Roll, whoever.
Yep.
Yeah, but I don't know.
Could be Lawler.
You know what? Yeah, it wouldn't be a bad match if it was Lawler, because they're both pros and know how to sell and want to have a good match. So I think Lawler would be a great opponent.
I do believe Kamala should be in the Hall of Fame also. I love the Hall of Fame stuff, yes.
Well, me too. I do believe Kamala too.
Greg said he was unaware that Michaels tried to screw over The Rock. Wow. Yes.
Well, I just think they kind of put the word in and we're being what they are.
I didn't like the Akeem gimmick, but I preferred One Man Gang from WCCW. Yes.
Well, I like One Man Gang, but I thought he pulled off the Akeem gimmick pretty cool. It was like the polka dots. He took that gimmick and in my eyes, I thought he did a great job with it. I thought it was great. I really did. Chris Jericho is the GOAT. I will say that. Chris Jericho's awesome. He's another Ricky Morton to me, who just not natural.
It's funny that Jericho was rumored to get his head shaved, but no, he won the match tonight, and Ortiz got his head shaved. So Jericho gets to keep whatever he's got going on up top. He gets to keep.
Well, that's the classic. I think it was Gino Hernandez versus Jose Lothario in Houston. And Gino had dyed his hair blonde before and called himself Gorgeous Gino. Well, parts of his hair were coming off and the chunks, and he kept the chunks in it, but it looked really like a nasty head of straw.
Yeah.
And so they had a hair versus hair match, and everybody just knew Gino was going to lose and get his head shaved. Nope. He beat Jose. They shaved Jose's head.
Wow.
So
that's
Jericho. There you go. Yeah, everybody thought Jericho's going bald now. So hey, you got this. Yeah, we could fool you guys.
Dylan says he's planning on applying to JPWA after summer class is over. Hey,
cool. Yeah, it's going to be hot in there this summer. It really is. But yeah, let's see. So we'll have that'll be fall. Yep. Check us out, jpwrestlingacademy.com, Dylan.
Sammy Guevara was under the mask and helped reunite with Jericho. Helped Jericho win and reunited.
Oh,
okay. I did see that. Yes, he was dressed up as some guy named Fuego del Sol, who I'm a big fan. I barely know who he is, but he pulled off the mask and it was Sammy helped Jericho.
What in the world's going on? Are we going to have dogs living with cats next, or what?
Possibly.
Well, look, I really don't know. No, I think Sting is hurt. Yeah, I think
so too. Yeah. Not a big enough payday either. I would imagine. Yes, excellent choice would be Lawler. Hey, Lawler could still go.
I believe that Lawler's a freak of nature too, so they could both do their punches, chops. Oh no, Lawler has a. Does Lawler have a pacemaker?
Flair does. So. Yeah.
Flair has a pacemaker.
Yes. Yeah.
What in the world are we doing?
That's why Jared Briscoe was so adamant about him not.
Yeah, that's true.
Yeah.
Well, I'm adamant with you too, Jerry. Why? You see,
Chris Vick has a good point. Flair and Dr. Tom versus the Rock and Roll Express.
Yeah, that won't happen either. So that'd be awesome.
It's not a bad idea.
I'm not going for the payoff either. It can take way more than that. I need at least $10.
Here's a question from your future student. Do you think that younger indie talent should be studying territory wrestling?
Well, I think younger indie talent should be studying the right territory wrestling and not picking up bad habits, because a lot of indie guys pick up bad habits and little simple stuff. And um, the right territory wrestling, in my opinion, again, that's all. When you say this is right and this is wrong, I don't mean it like that. I mean, there's some habits that people do, like slapping the leg is a bad habit. No matter what you say, I know it's dramatic and you hear a sound, but when you do it all the time in every part of the body, it doesn't sound the same way, and that's a bad habit, as an example. So, and but yeah, study guys like Terry Funk, Harley Race. Study guys like Randy Orton, John Cena, John Cena for the timing and the presence, pacing, body language. Timing is so important. So there's a lot of things to look for. Sorry, Dylan.
Why is Pillman not in the Hall of Fame? Dr. Tom, your thoughts?
I don't know. I don't know why Brian Pillman would not be in the Hall of Fame. I don't have a clue.
Dr. Tom, Hall of Fame. Again, man, we're getting so many. We got you in the Hall of Fame. I don't know how, but
Hey, I tell you what, John. Can I put you in charge of that? Would you? Would you? Would you
sure.
spearhead that? Spearhead this, because I'm a little busy over here. I had to change the tips of my shoelaces tonight, and then I gotta lace them back tomorrow. But I do it on a very specific way, the German chocolate cake way, and it's a very special lacing technique. Love
Interesting.
this channel. Okay.
Yeah, there you go.
Yeah.
Memories of Stan Lane and Jimmy Del Rey as tag partners.
Stan was great. Stan was always fun to be around, and went with the flow. Jimmy was a rambunctious, um, intense, great in the ring. He has some really good shit going on in the ring, but he could be very intense, and I love both of them. I thought they were great. Those days are gone. I agree 100%. They're gone, but you could take elements from them. That's what I'm trying to say. Don't do it exactly as was done. Take bits and pieces. It's like mining for gold. You go down and you shake the plate a little bit. You may find just rocks, but shake it again and you may find some little nuggets of gold. So watch some of that stuff. You might see somebody do it and say, wow, that looks cool. And then you bring it in today's world with a little, with a little spin to it. Put your spin on it. As an example, the Usos did something in the FCW that made them stand out, and it was so simple. The guy would be, they would snap mare the guy, where he would be sitting up in the middle of the ring. They would hit the ropes, run, and grab a chin lock. I mean, just that aggression, and that stood out. That's one of those simple things people don't do anymore. Tag team stuff. Anyway,
Let's do one last question and wrap it up here. Memories of the Brooklyn Brawler, Steve Lombardi,
Steve
formerly
was awesome.
Voice.
Yes, I had a fun time with Steve too. We got into an argument one time in Canada to rib Nikolai Volkov. I rode with Nikolai, Brawler, and I think Bruno in a tour of Canada. And Steve wanted to do something to rib Nikolai because he's from Brooklyn. I'm from the South, and all these Southern assholes and shit like that. And Nikolai told Steve to calm down because Steve was really getting on my shit. So, but Steve was awesome. I always had a good time. Great guy.
Want to also say, right, happy birthday to your best friend of all time, Brad.
Yeah.
Happy heavenly birthday.
Yeah. Would have been 60 years old.
Wow, that's it. Wow.
Yeah. Wow. That's insane. That's insane in itself. But yep.
Now let's head on to talk about your book, A Pro Wrestling Curriculum, Advice, Suggestions, and Stories to Help the Aspiring Pro Get to the Next Level. Dr. Tom, where can they get this awesome book?
You can go to jpwrestlingacademy.com. It's on the front page. Click the link. It'll take you to Amazon, and you can order all you want. Hey, Greg, thank you.
Matty R, yes. Thank you.
Oh, very cool.
Of course, you could follow me on Twitter and Instagram at Two Man Power Trip. Check out the website, tmptempire.com. You can follow Dr. Tom on Twitter at Dr. Tom Prichard. Like I said, check out the website, jpwrestlingacademy.com. Also, go to Pro Wrestling Tees, prowrestlingtees.com. Visit the Dr. Tom store or the JPWA store. Dr. Tom, what else you got going on?
Man, we got one more week with this class right here. And then we start the summer class July 4th. And it is going to be a pretty cool summer here. No, it's not going to be cool. It's going to be a hot summer here. So that's what we got going on.
Thank you, everybody out there, for listening. See you right back here next week for a little Take It to School with Dr. Tom Prichard. We'll see you next week, folks.